All right, everyone. Who here had a good time in the last Existential Hope tracks? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, me too. It was a ton of fun. Thank you, everyone, for taking this seriously and humorously. I heard a ton of laughing from every room and a ton of like, oh, I think that was whenever Dystopia came around. So thanks a lot for making it happen and for sticking with it. I hope you had a good time. And this was probably not the last time that we do this kind of exercise. So let's review the big results. Let's start with a long-termism track. That is from Beatrice and her group. And I will go to your slide if it's here. Is this yours? No. We have a long-termism track. This?
Oh yeah, so next.
Okay.
There should be,
Here.
Is our story.
Okay, do you want to read it out?
Yes.
And anyone who is in the long-termism track, if you want to fill something in, do it.
In a society that has achieved instilling self-efficacy and agency in its children, everyone is confident and willing to take on the challenges of civilization. The people in this society are constantly inventing and problem solving, working hard to make progress happen. They have a shared appreciation for abundance and growth, and they work together to create solutions that will ensure a safer future for everyone. One of the key ways that this society has achieved such a high level of confidence and agency in its children is through improved epistemological hygiene. This involves teaching people how to think critically and how to evaluate information in order to make better decisions. The people in this society are encouraged to seek out knowledge from a variety of sources and to use their collective intelligence to solve problems and make progress. Another important aspect of this society is its emphasis on regulatory reform. The people in this society have recognized that competition can sometimes lead to dangerous situations, and they have put in place systems to avoid such scenarios. Instead, they focus on cooperation and collaboration, working together to solve problems and make progress. One of the major areas of focus in this society is the development of new technologies, such as nanotechnology, biotechnology, and nuclear power. These technologies are being used to improve longevity and to advance the frontiers of space exploration. The people in this society are making great strides in the field of digital democracy, using data to drive better decision-making and to create more inclusive and less biased policies. Overall, this society is one that values empathy, consensus, and cooperation. The people in this society have gone through a moral and epistemic revolution that has allowed them to create a flourishing future. They're open and collaborative with an expansive, future-proof ethical code that guides their actions. They're probabilistic in their thinking, always looking for a new and better way to understand the world around them.
Woo! And that is the resulting art piece. Wonderful.
So we made a lot of art pieces. So this is the Studio Ghibli inspired ones. And yeah, I'm just gonna scroll through all of them. So this is more Studio Ghibli. This is anime style. Studio Ghibli, anime. This is Night Cafe. This is Impressionist, I believe. And then we have solar punk versions.
Nice. Oh, nice.
This is more solar punk, and solar punk, I think.
Oh my God, I love this bubble world. Very nice. Thank you, long-termism check. Okay, next on up, rejuvenation. Aaron and anyone else who wants to present. This can be collaborative. You can be 10 people up here. We have more space behind the stage than in front of it.
All right. Okay, let me just find the prompt that we generated from all the ideas that popped up during the discussion. So the longevity future we are chasing requires effort, time, agility, and money, but it will be worth it. As a society, we must explore new, cheap, high-impact ideas with the scientific rigor of scaled, randomized trials. We must include new perspectives, bringing in everyone from pathologists to meteorologists. Can we be open-minded enough to invite even insurance companies and established pharma to our community to get their perspectives and learn to speak their language? We need diverse solutions to overcome the linchpin challenges in the field. Better diagnostics, like gathering samples from stress-resistant supercentenarians or measuring extracellular matrix integrity, will assist us as we try to rectify the exposome. Successful therapies will lead to policy reformation and the acceptance and enthusiasm for longevity.
Woo! Nice one.
The prompt was too long for the AI,
Oh, no way.
for the AI tool that I was using, so I kind of cut it down a little bit. It didn't seem to know what to make of the policy stuff. AI doesn't seem to have a grasp of government yet, but this is quite biological, and it looks pretty cool. So
It looks beautiful. It's like a bit like Good Cell's work. Really nice. Thanks, Longevity Track. Thank you. Okay, next one up we have molecular machines, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, molecular machines. Edda, come up on stage.
So, we don't really have a little story like that, but we did ask GPT-3 all of our questions about our hopes and our dreams and our worst fears, and we tried to gauge what its answer was. So, this started as an ex-hope prompt, but the result, Anastasia, can you help me explain this?
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like the existential risk scenario that was developed for molecular machines is that molecular machines are just so impermeable and dense that we cannot understand.
So it came up with this archaic dead language that no one can understand and doesn't have any use. So that was our existential risk scenario. But if you see the prompt was very hopeful and very peaceful and positive. A future where we have massive symposiums of molecular machines researchers, beneficial health therapies enabled by molecular machines, new insights on biology, quantum computing, broad interest and funding in nanotechnology, basic nanotechnology education for all, clear use cases for molecular machines. And that was its output.
Wonderful.
Yes. Next slide. This is pretty straightforward. Immortality enabled by molecular machines.
Combining the longevity track and the molecular machines track.
Yes.
Wow, interesting. And thank you, Edda. Thank you. Those are beautiful. It's also interesting to compare. This is the San Francisco one, and then we have a few one in the France version too, which was this one. So there are definitely some similarities in the molecular machines track. Okay, next one up, we have neurotech. Can I ask Neve on stage, please?
from where you were.
I could, but I'm going to go to the stage. So we didn't actually say that prompt, but we had a bit of a fun time doing it because we also didn't agree at the very end with a single prompt. So we asked our chat bot to come up with the prompt for us, and we got multiple versions and then multiple images. And this was the one that seemed to be enjoyed and loved the most. But by no means is it the one and only. So we had a fun time, and that was it.
Neurotech, very nice. It's almost similar to, oh wow, those are beautiful.
Different. Super
those are
different.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this
Yeah.
one.
So we were looking for hope, friendship, peace, health, connectivity. Yes, love. It just, yeah. It went big.
I think I can read the prompt for that.
Yes, yes.
To go back to the last one, I think it was.
We tried so many.
Imagine a world where neurotechnology has advanced to the point where humans can manipulate their own emotions and thoughts, leading to a society where individuals are able to control their own happiness and well-being.
And then arguably, that's already happening now, huh?
It is. More of the present. Wonderful. Also so different to the, this was the France one here for comparison. And here we have the San Francisco one. Really nice, the differences in style.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, next one up, we have our track. So if anyone wants to fill me in on the crypto and compute bits, feel free to do so. We have a pretty long explanation for a positive future. Basically, we first went around and digested all of the where are we todays into a positive future scenario using ChatGPT-3. And we even came up with a few changes. So Tom Khalil will hopefully be happy with us. And I think that in the interest of time, I will be reading out the entire long story. But I think one thing that was interesting to note is that it nicely combined them. I think, Gianluca, you mentioned it's like a kind of like a pretty generic transcript. Or like a pretty generic abstract for like a paper or something that one may read, where afterwards you're nodding along, but at the end of the day you're like, okay, what have we actually been saying here? So it definitely fills it in nicely, but I think a few common threads in that we then proposed a few scenarios with. And so here we have one that was created by James using Midjourney. I don't know where you are, James. This one here, flourishing futures of humans and AI cooperating privately in a decentralized network, vaporwave style. So that was this one here on the left. And then we had the same one done using Night Cafe. And then we had another one by Dave. I'm not sure where Dave is right now, but artistic director Dave made us this one here. And I rather like the differences here. So we have flourishing coordinated futures where humans and AI work together in the style of synthware. And then the same prompt in Kandinsky style. So again, rather different. And if you want to know more, you can read our entire ChatGPT-3 story about this and the narrative around it. But I think we'll leave it at that, unless you have anything to add. No? Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks. We did come up with a few changes, and if you want to prompt us on them, feel free to discuss them with us, because we were quite actionable indeed. Okay, wonderful. Well, next one up, we have Alex and Space coming up here. Woo!
Yes.
This one. Okay.
So, we had a very nice prompt that I decided, GPT-3 will do that. I decided to create a comics out of our prompt. So we generated the images with DALL-E, and we generated all those texts with GPT-3 chat. So our comic about space expansion and energy is going like this. In a future where humanity has harnessed the power of the sun and nuclear energy to fuel our civilization, as we sit around the warmth of a fireplace with our friend, we discuss the advancement in clean energy and flying cars. We expanded to multiple planets and created factories in space. And the concept of decentralization is at the forefront of our society as we strive for an educated and abundant society that allows us to actualize our full potential as human.
Wonderful, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was the comic format, and as you can see, we have a little chicken on the earth. I don't know why, because it's all about harnessing the power of the sun. So maybe chickens got the answer. And last time in France, we didn't do a comic; we did a film.
What tool was that?
An animation.
Nevermind.
Nevermind.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, what our hope and dream is that after this weekend, we're actually going to create a Nevermind film out of all of you guys' prompts, so that we have one summary film for the whole Vision Weekends, France and US combined. Okay, cool. Last but certainly not least, we have Lou.
I put it all at the end.
All at the end. Okay. All right. Wait, no. Is this it?
Yes, this is it. Well, okay. I think similarly to other experiences here, we fed the AI a few keywords and it gave us back another beautiful buzzword bingo word salad. I can tell you what were the things that were most important in our session. In general, it was thinking about humanity becoming a good steward of the commons. This happening as a result of creating coordination and governance system that push our institutions, science funding toward experimentation, a liquid exchange of talent, knowledge, and capital, better functional incentives in society, creating an explosion of knowledge as a result. And enabling the perpetual improvement and iteration of this for humanity. Here we have actually two scenarios. One is a dystopia, the other the utopia. I think it's interesting that they cannot look similarly. So the left one was a dystopia. It's where boredom, tyranny, poor incentives, institutional sclerosis, toxic competition, and the obfuscation of knowledge lead to societal collapse. So that's what Dali gave us. And the other one is the sort of utopia that I just read to you. So maybe the future will look the same whether it's utopia or dystopia.
But at least we don't have flying heads in the sky in a utopia, so that's rather nice.
Maybe that's the win.
Wonderful, thank you. This is quite something. Okay, well, 5 more minutes, then we do a break. But I do want to do a final integration, okay? Let's bear with it. Because I think that, I really welcome all of you to just go and flicker through the slides. I know that from Vision Weekends in the past years where we did tech tree notes, I've seen people up in the slide deck online 6 months later. And looking at other people's slides, connecting with them over these existential hope scenarios. So I really welcome you to take those slides seriously, to check them out. The slide stacks are in the QR code here, Vision Weekend Collaboration Doc. That is where these slides are. These are a few important links I want to point out to you. Discord, there's a bunch of you already joined, a bunch of you said hi. Foresight Pub, Discord invite. All of our 2023 workshops, we have a workshop in each of these technology tracks, are here at foresight.pub 2023. You can apply through one form to all of them. And finally, if you want to support Foresight, there's the support link. I do want to, for perhaps a closing, to say, perhaps a few words and do a bit of an integration. Usually, I think these events are to serve, maybe have 3 different fruits. One is low hanging, middle hanging, then high hanging, and I want to see who got what. So lowest hanging fruit, who here has perhaps made a new friend or found a new connection, someone that they think could be valuable in their future pursuit, whether it's personal or professional or what have you. Good, I like it. Second one is the second mid-tier fruit, if you so want, and that's who here has actually had an idea, a new spark for something that they didn't know before, something that they're keen and interested in potentially taking up for collaboration, and something where, something that just tickled their mind a little bit. Okay, also not bad. And then lastly, putting the two together, who here has an idea for an actual collaboration, perhaps with someone here that arose from this weekend? A few collaboration ideas already. That's not bad. And you still have, after the closing, 3 more hours to make it happen, guys. So whoever didn't raise their hand, all is not lost. You still have a bit of time. We do have an Afro band coming. We have tea set up. We have sunset drinks. It's not raining. It's going to be glorious. But perhaps to, just close with a few words. So, these are our annual end of the year gatherings. And I really want to applaud all of you for taking the time to actually look across different tracks and look at different technology areas that you're not even maybe cooperating in normally. And I really loved seeing that many of you were actually in tracks that were not your normal track. And I was like, what is this person from space doing the molecular machines track? And I think that's what these weekends are for. And they really are here to kindle collaboration in areas that wouldn't otherwise be apparent. And so I really want to welcome you and applaud you for all of that. Second, I do want to really thank our sponsors again. I cannot say this enough. That's why I'm saying it a lot. Many of you here are on a free ticket, and it wouldn't have been possible without other folks really picking up the tab. And I think that's how really long-term communities actually get created on the long run, of people roping in others, making the cost to entry incredibly low. So thank you everyone to sponsor this event. This was absolutely wonderful. Thank you. It really means a lot. Then I want to thank all of our volunteers. Where are you guys? If you're not putting out fires, you're somewhere here. Thank you. This was a lot of work. I want to thank our gracious hosts. I don't know if Kevin's around, but like the Internet Archive, our first venue, we could not be doing these events without you guys sponsoring and donating your houses to us. So thanks a lot for that. I want to thank Foresight staff for having gone above and beyond. I think, putting something like this on is, especially in such a decentralized format where we start on the peninsula, move to San Francisco, and then move to the Berkeley Hills, is really challenging, especially if you come from all over the world. So thanks a lot for bearing with the jet lag and like pushing through this. Those events are challenging, but I think they're worth it. Thank you. I really, really, dearly appreciate it. And finally, I want to think of all of you guys and perhaps leave you with like 3 bits to take away from this weekend. So number 1 is that I think we should bias to action now. So these weekends are really wonderful because we get to know everything from like long-termism to longevity, molecular machines, newer tech, crypto commerce, energy, funding. All of these sessions are here. We really like went out there, imagined beautiful worlds. But I think, also echoing Tom, like they don't happen if we don't build them. And so I really want to welcome all of you to go out and build. And sometimes I think, especially when we're so into decentralization, we sometimes get this framing of like, well, but, like, why even try? Isn't this hubris? Like, why not just like, perhaps, let civilization unfold as it does? But I do think that if we don't act, it is an action in itself, because currently we have a bunch of risks. We have AI risk, nuclear risk, computer insecurities. All of these bits are currently, they're already on the table. So if we don't do anything, we won't survive and we won't make it. So either way, we have to do stuff. And so why not do it together? Why not do it in community? I hope that next year when we come together, many of you guys will be our speakers and we'll be doing our report outs. I'm excited to hear from our fellows next year. Many of you are here already today. So really, I want to leave you with the first prompt is like, let's go out and actually build and act. This was wonderful, but these worlds don't happen if we don't go out and create them.
Alex, what time is it? It's time to build.
I love it. It's the build alarm. The second thing I want to leave you with, is let's do it with hope. And so I think that, it can be incredibly depressing when we just look at all the risks that I just mentioned that may be unfolding. But I think that there's this kind of like mind flip that I often invite folks to take. It's like either, sometimes I do think about the fact like, what if at the end of my life I realize, well, actually I wasn't able to make a difference. We have a dystopian world anyways, or no world at all. And that's a pretty bad scenario, in which case, I may have just wanted to live my life like surrounded by my friends and family, going on trips, exploring the world. But I think an opposite scenario is actually worse. And the opposite scenario is where you didn't really try to make a difference. You kind of got fatalistic, complacent, you kind of like gave up. And then at the end of your life, you found out there was a skill you could have given. There was something you could have done that actually could have made a difference, but now it's too late and there's nothing you can do about it. And so I think that world is a worse world. And I think once you do that kind of like, trade-off scenario and then you decide to act, then there's also no reason to be upset at the fact anymore that it's going to be very difficult, because we've just accepted that the chances may not be super large that we make it through in a glorious way, but nevertheless, it's worth trying. And so I think this kind of like mental switch is, I think, sometimes useful. So I think there is reason to have hope. And once you do that, then I think there's also not much time left for complaining anymore how terrible everything is right now, because there's a lot to build. And then thirdly, I want to say, let's do it in community. I think that, one really big thing that makes me believe that actually my life would have had meaning even if we wouldn't have made it through is because it's intrinsically rewarding to the people that you meet, the projects that you engage in when you do this more like kind of like futuristic, long-termist, like world improvement world. Like I could not have asked for a better friend group than all of you guys. When I grew up in Germany, I couldn't have wished for it. And so I think, like thanks to the internet, thanks to like, these events now being in both locations, thanks to this community exploding in the past few years, I think there is now finally a community and like a group of people that we can do this with, and that we can do so with positively. So let's support each other. Let's like really treat this as kind of like your team of I don't know, probably almost 1,000 over a few Vision Weekends, to actually build this future with. And so let's create some continuity, let's follow up with each other, and let's really, let's build together. Let's build in a hopeful way together. And for that, I want to welcome you to a few bits within Foresight, or at least a few bits in which we can at least provide somewhat of a support structure for that. So you already know we have a fellowship, but we also have individual workshops. So each of these tracks in the next year has a workshop. The dates are set. Existential Hope Day is going to be in San Francisco. The Whole Brain Emulation workshop for neurotech is going to be around effective altruism global in London. If you click on any of those, it opens up into the actual workshop page. Then we have the Foresight Longevity Challenges workshop that's also going to be in San Francisco. All of these events are listed from our event page. They all already have an application form. And they already have a few keynote speakers and a few presenters confirmed. We always invite our fellows, but this is a space for you also to apply. And there's a space in the application form where you can propose a topic. And so if you've found something here that you want to explore more, if you think that there's a there, then those are really the deep dive workshops where you can go full in on it. And that's really, I think, a time where really wonderful things come to fruition. And then we report out again next year at Vision Weekend what came out of these projects. So really, I invite you. This is the kind of like our support layer that we can give to you. And I really hope that you take us up on it. And then last but not least, I couldn't stop without saying that if you want to support us in supporting this work, please consider donating. This is our annual end of year fundraising event. We've had a ton of sponsors, which is why we're able to put this on. We're not making a profit with this event. We're barely being able to fly a few fellows out, and we're relying a lot on folks really sponsoring us. This has been an insane economic year for us in the worst way possible. In the past few weeks, fundraising, I think, has never been more challenging since the 10 years that I've now been in Foresight. And so, we have a lot of projects. We want to do the tech trees. If you're interested in them, they're all here. We have the Gaming the Future book. We have the fellowships. We would like to fly our fellows out. We had 2.5 increase in fellowship applications last year, and our 2024 applications also already have over 100 applicants at this point. And so we're really growing, and we're trying to do our best. We had over 30 people apply that were in their teens this year, and we're now stamping out an entire new category called prodigies to actually support teens. But flights are expensive, and we really want to try to get those folks out there, because especially when they're early and young, it is.
How much money do you need?
Ideally, we're currently trying to raise up to 1.2 million. That would mean we didn't have to cut any of the projects, and it would mean we could continue the Tech2 project too. But honestly, any bit helps. If you if you consider being a corporate sponsor to our events, all of these workshops have a sponsorship opportunity. They come with special gatherings and so forth. But yeah, I really couldn't close this weekend without saying this, because this is not money spent on us, but it's money spent on the community. And so if you want to support other folks in here, then that's an okay way to do so. You can direct it to a specific fellowship if you want. If you only want to support longevity fellows, feel free to do so. If you want to support a specific workshop, feel free to do so. But yeah, I couldn't leave you here without at least making that appeal, because it is really up to you on how much we can do next year. And currently it looks rather tricky. Anyway, without wanting to be a Debbie Downer, thank you all for coming. It was really, really, really wonderful. If you want to discuss future collaborations, if you want to discuss any sponsorship partnerships, we're open to collaborations. We'll be around for the rest of this afternoon. We will have lunch served now. You're welcome to explore the entire house. Are welcome to check out the outside, the downstairs. We have an Afro band here, tea service set up downstairs in a second. And then later on, a wonderful sunset overlooking the area. Shuttles are going every 15 minutes between here and the BART station. And yeah, let's have a really wonderful time. This was a really, really incredible year, I think, to some extent. I do think we're much closer to very kind of impactful futures in the negative or positive ways. And I think it's really on us to create one of them. So let's celebrate this year, all the achievements, but let's also do so with an impulse to action in the next year. Thanks a lot for making Vision Weekend so amazing.